All right, hello everybody. This is lesson 18. So in lesson 18, what we're going to learn is we're going to learn a new chord. And we're going to learn two new chords, actually. Three. Okay, let's learn three chords. First of all, when you look at the G chord open, that's just a G. That's a G chord, and you don't have to press down anything. So that means when you let's put this up 2 frets higher, and don't play the 5th string, just the 4th. Well, you have an A chord. On the 5th fret, you have a C chord, and here you have a D chord. So that's what's called a bar chord, because you just bar. But that's an easy chord to do. Now, when you look at a C chord that we learned, you notice that the 3rd string is part of the chord here, and it's pressed. Actually, it's noted by the nut. So when you look at the C chord, now let's play the C chord differently. Let's play the first. Let's play the first string on the 2nd fret with the pinky. Play the ring finger on the 4th string on the 2nd fret, and play the middle finger on the 2nd string. Let's play the C chord like this. Still the same C chord, I'm just using different fingers. And now let's pretend that the nut on the 3rd string, that would be the index finger, you see? Now I can take this entire position and just sort of slide it up 2 frets. And because the next note after C is D. So we have the C chord here, and we just slide this up, but then we have to also fret this note, which is fretted by the nut. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope it does. So this is basically a C chord. You see here? This is a C here, but I have to play it with different fingers so I can also get this note. Now this is a very difficult chord. Especially when you're a beginner, because it requires quite some coordination to get this chord going. Now the trick is not to get impatient with yourself, when you do this chord. You just have to be very slow. Put the little finger on the 4th fret here, all right, and then you put the middle finger right underneath it here on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. Just these 2 notes. And then put the index finger here on the 2nd fret. And then you put the ring finger, and this is a little bit tricky, put the ring finger right here. This is a really excellent chord position, and you will not get around pretty much of learning this at one point. So start now and don't expect it to be perfect. Really don't. Do yourself the favor. Give you time. It's an interesting thing. I have to learn a lot of things that are, I don't know why I write sometimes very difficult things, and it takes me a long time until I'm actually able to play it. And sometimes I almost lose hope. I go like, wow, when can I play this? But I learned over the years, if I just do it a few times and then lay it aside, do it again, you will most likely not learn anything just completely new in one session. So just, okay, put the D chord on there, here, like this. And then strum over the banjo, not with the 5th string, no 5th string, just make sure that every note is clean. When you look at my hand from the back, you see that my thumb is here. I'm not like this. I'm also not like this. You see, like very angled. It's sort of, yeah, like this. It should be. You see, it's not. It doesn't. I don't do any weird stretches or any like that. Always try. Sometimes it's not possible. Most of the time, try to keep the wrist straight. More or less, because you have the most strength when the wrist is straight. If you like that, can't really grab. When you like that, you can't really grab. but when the wrist is straight, you have the most strength and most control. So I always try when you see me play, and then of course I have chords where I have to, just can't. But I try to avoid it. So here's the D chord again. And of course, once you can play this D chord, you can move it up, and you make it that the little pinky is on the 9th fret, or the index is on the 7th, you know, however you want to call it. And that's a G chord again. You will learn about that we have, you know, multiple G chords. This is a G chord, and this, and then it's here. D is here. So you can do the basic rhythm that we learned in another video. Or the other way around. Alright, this is called the D position. And the first position where this would be actually taking place is C sharp. But because we don't use much C sharp, we call this D position. Doesn't matter if it's here or here. It's just the shape that we name D position, so we know what we're talking about. So when I say, okay, go up to the let's say 12th fret, make a D position. Well, it's a B flat, but it's a D position. So try to learn this D position and be patient. Hold it for a while, get your hands away, put it back on. Take your hands away, put it back on, take your hands away, put it back on, take your hands away, do something else. Okay, come back, do it again. And then all of a sudden you start to get this in your memory. All right, good luck with the D position.